Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to episode 52 of Mensimah's Roundtable, Conversations with Women of Power and Grace. It is a holiday weekend here in the United States, and we are all in some way spending quality time with our loved ones and or taking time off to rest a little bit, travel, and enjoy the weather. Now, the weather is warming up more and more. We see the bloom of colors all around us. In what we wear, to our natural environment of luscious greens, to the burst of colorful flowers. I love this period of year where things begin or continue to come alive right before our eyes. Now, the topic for this episode is the freedom to be. Let's talk freedom. We celebrate independence as a country, and as in many other countries, from imperialism, colonialism, and down to apartheid systems and invasions. The common denominator in all these systems is oppression. There's always a country or another entity that holds power over something, someone, or groups of people. And power over is the key word here. When people have power over others, it means that they take away their very essence of being. And we see that in many, many ways. And as that is occurring, our suffering also increases under these kinds of oppression. And this exists in many countries, many different areas of our human experience, in varied institutions, including education, religion, healthcare, legal, financial, etc. The list goes on. Everywhere we turn, there seems to be an obstruction that impinges on our experiences. With time, sometimes we lose our way because it is so difficult to combat some of these obstructions. But in my view, an optimistic view that I have, I believe there's always hope. The hope to seek new pathways that bring freedom that the heart so desires. The hope to dream new possibilities. And I know there are infinite possibilities available to us if we are willing to take steps to free ourselves from any form of oppression. We all have this hope and freedom embedded in our human psyche. And the beginnings of our tasting of freedom start when we are willing to cut the binding cords in our relationships with partners, family, friends, and colleagues. Sometimes we are celebrated for maintaining the status quo, even when it's devastating. But that is not a good place to be. As we celebrate freedom this weekend, it is an opportune time to examine what type of relationships we have in place with all institutions in our external world, as well as personal relationships. The freedom to be Black and beautiful, the freedom to be trans and walk freely into any building, school that you choose, the freedom to be LGBTQIA and love the way you want to be loved, the freedom to wear hijab, a hoodie, and feel safe, the freedom to express oneself with the very gifts endowed by the divine, the freedom to worship freely. We experience daily how hatred and love coexist in our world. We see rights being taken away at moment's notice. But we have the ability and strength and desire to uphold the dignities that we know are our human right to be. We are not constrained to stay put because we have the option to open a window and let in the light that will shine on our spirit, to bloom like a flower opening fully to its essence with no hindrances. I will share a favorite quote with you by Hildegard of Bingen. And she says, "We cannot live in a world that is not our own, in a world that is interpreted for us by others. An interpreted world is not home. Part of the terror is to take back our own listening, to use our own voice to see our own light. And we must overcome the terror to use our voice to see our own light. That is the pathway to freedom, to free ourselves from any bondage. As we go about our lives today, in the next few days, weeks, months, and years ahead, let us firstly take a look at the cords that need to be cut so we can free ourselves a bit more. We have the right to be, the right to cultivate the freedom our hearts desire, that goes beyond ourselves and extends to all humanity. Thank you so much for your support, for sharing our podcast with friends, for discussing topics in your respective groups. Please send a note if you're interested in working one-on-one with me, and or join our Reflective Questions platform. I'll say this again. You have to overcome the terror to use your own voice and to see your own light. You have to begin a process of cutting cords, the ones that don't serve you anymore. You have the right to be a woman of power and grace. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Many blessings.